Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Tomb Raider, the Anniversary series. This episode is called Happy Birthday Lara, where we celebrate the life of a Tomb Raider. Happy birthday Lara, 25 years on and still going strong. Today's guest is Jenni Milward. She is an incredible voice actress and a novelist with her own adaptation of The Angel of Darkness. Hello Jenni.
Hello there, sweetie. It's nice to be on. Thank you for inviting me, Jake.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on my show. How are you?
Pretty good, actually. Considering that this is Lara's birthday, so it's like a major day for the year for all Tomb Raider fans.
Exactly.
Yeah, Book of Valentine's Day, we don't mind that. We'd much rather celebrate Lara's birthday.
Well, I'm very, very single, so I celebrate Lara's birthday.
Very good.
Have you got any plans to celebrate Lara's birthday today?
Nothing specific at the moment, but I may just have to treat myself to a session on Last Revelation a bit later, maybe.
Well, that sounded that.
We'll have to see.
So I thought I'd get you on, and it's perfect for today with it being Lara's birthday. So it's going to be a very easy episode, I think, because I love Tomb Raider a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the earliest memory you have from playing Tomb Raider or knowing about Lara Croft?
Oh, well, I've known about Lara Croft almost from the moment the game was launched in 1996. I mean, if you were around at that time, it was literally impossible not to notice her. She was on every magazine cover, she was on drinks adverts, she was being used all over the place. So I knew about her for a long time. But I didn't actually start to play them until 1999 with The Last Revelation. We bought it for my mum as a bit of a joke present for Christmas. I really didn't think very much of it, until we actually got it loaded up. And then within about 10 minutes of playing it, I was completely hooked. And my poor mum has not had a word in edgeways.
Oh, I think one of the earliest memories I remember, it was Christmas one year, and me and my sister had a joint present, and it was the original PlayStation console, and it came with a box full of games, and one of them was the first Tomb Raider game, and I didn't know about Tomb Raider around that time, and it was the first time I ever heard of her. So my sister obviously played the game, and I watched her, and oh my god, there's the particular level where the wolves are on the lower ground where the bridges are.
Mm-hmm.
That always used to scare me when I was younger. I hated that noise, that growling noise they used to do every time you walked into the room. So that's just stuck with me through my childhood. And obviously the bear, if you fall into the gap, if you don't time the jump correctly. So
yeah, Tomb Raider's full of very atmospheric, scary moments like that.
It kind of feels like there's a horror element to the first Tomb Raider game, especially with all the others that followed it, with the isolation of the tombs and stuff.
So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree. I think horror has always been an aspect of all the Tomb Raider games right up to the present day.
Oh, definitely. So, if you could pick one of your favourite Tomb Raider games, what game would it be out of the series? So it could even be the reboot series or the classics from core design.
Well, it would have to be a toss-up between Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation and The Angel of Darkness, because The Last Revelation, because that was the very first one I played, and to this day I think it's the pinnacle of that era of Tomb Raider. It's vast, it's varied, it's beautiful, it's challenging, it's got a great story, beautiful music. It's just peak Tomb Raider from that era. And The Angel of Darkness, because it's graphically gorgeous, the music's even better, and the story has only deepened and become more interesting in the interim. I can't honestly choose between the two of them. But that's the thing, I do actually enjoy many of the other games for different reasons. I've played the the Lara Croft games, Guardian of Light, Temple of Osiris, and you know what? They're great fun, even though they're a completely different perspective, literally, in gameplay, to any of the others. And I've played them both individually and cooperatively. They are great fun. And Lara Croft Go as well. Let's extend it to mobile games as well. I think the formula translated beautifully to that. I think they did a fantastic job capturing the puzzle element, the exploration.
Yeah, they did.
It was really, really nicely done. So, yeah, I like an awful lot of the games. I mean, I even enjoy some aspects of the reboot. I just don't think of them as kind of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy the environments and wandering around in the snow or anything like that in Rise or whatever. Sometimes I want to get away from it all, and that's a wonderful way of making it feel like you really are. But those two would definitely be my pinnacle, and I cannot truthfully pick one over the other because they're both wonderful in different ways.
No, some very good choices there. I mean, if I had to pick a favourite Tomb Raider game, I can't choose just one. Although, for me, it's a toss-up between the first classic Tomb Raider, obviously, and Tomb Raider Legend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about Tomb Raider Legend that I love so much. I think it's the action element to it and the story line that goes with it, with Legend. Same with Angel of Darkness, really. That was a really good storyline as well. But I think the thing I like about Legend is how savage and just sassy. How savage and sassy Lara is in that game. Her whole characterization. I think Keely Hawes does an amazing job.
Oh, she did.
Being the voice actress of Lara for that game.
She did.
She really did. I think one of my favourite levels is the Japan level. And I love how she's dressed nicely and then she rips it all apart to get in, to be more comfortable for killing a load of bad guys. So I also like, there's one line in Legend in the Japan level when she speaks to Takamoto. And he says, Miss Croft, are you deaf? And she goes, I don't know, let's see. Try begging for your life like the last time we spoke. I'm telling you, the first time I played that game and she said that, I was like, whoa. I was like, oh, okay, she's doing that. All right, then. No wonder why Takamoto says killer.
You don't want to mess with Lara. Yeah, you don't want to mess with
her. Yeah, I absolutely love Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider Legend and the classic Tomb Raider with the memories that I had from being a kid. I mean, still to this day, the wolf noise scares me, so what can I say? So, we've touched on why we like Tomb Raider so much and our favourite Tomb Raider games. Now, some fans might know this, some fans might not. It's perfectly fine. A few years ago, I was very much into YouTube when it first started evolving, and I can remember a YouTube channel called Tomb Raider Trailer Man, and he used to do like parodies of Lara basically in all the video games, and he did one series called Animated Craft. And Animated Craft was a massive parody of Tomb Raider and Lara herself. And come to think of it, it was you that voiced Lara, wasn't it, for Animated Craft?
It was, yes. That was many years ago, but yeah, they were great fun. They were great fun. The chap behind them, Tomb Raider Trailer Man, as you say, had a great deal of fun parodying all eras of Lara. He kind of blunged them all up together so that we end up with Curtis turning up at the same sort of period as Zip and Alistair and so on. But he never ever tried to do anything of it seriously. He just had a great deal of fun with that. And so did I. They were a wonderful break from the more kind of serious stuff that I was doing with Level Editor. I could just have fun with these and still keep the very, very crisp Lara voice, but in really silly situations. And that was refreshing. It was a bit of fun.
I just loved the whole the whole concept of Lara being that kind of character in Animated Craft, and when she gets a job at the zoo
Mm-hmm.
And McDonald's as well. That's one of my favourite bits, when she just launches the fries at the guy.
Well, Andy's, Tomb Raider Trailer Man's art style also evolved very quickly. You know, he became extremely good at the animation software that he was using, and yeah, I loved the way the series evolved. I think it only ran for sort of maybe 1 or 2 years, but he did an awful lot in those time.
Yeah, he did. It's also the bit on the first episode as well, where Lara gets the package from the bastards in town. Is it the Tomb Raider 4 screen that he uses when she's running back and forth with the package in hand?
It probably is. That's the one thing I've never been able to do with voice acting, is actually do a full-on death scream, and there's actually several reasons behind that. One is my microphone and setup would literally overload trying to do it.
Yeah.
I did that once to test it, and no, it was clipping into the stratosphere and just died on me. And the other reason, of course, is I've never done any of these recordings in a proper studio. It's always been recorded at home. I've got fairly decent equipment and stuff, but at the same time, you have to kind of consider your neighbours. And in those circumstances, you do have to worry that you have to keep it down to a certain level. Otherwise, they may get somewhat worried and call the police.
It's the limit of surprise, though. I mean, don't tell them, just do it and see what their reaction is. I would.
Well, my friend and colleague Adam Cuver, who voiced almost all of the male characters in my Angel of Darkness audiobook adaptation.
Yeah.
I remember he telling me that he mostly had to record at night because that was, the quietest time, and I've done the same. It is probably the best time to do it, because you cut down on all the distraction noises. But for specifically things like when poor Luddick is getting, electrocuted to death by Eckhart, I can remember the first time I heard that, or, I'd read the script to him and said it to him, and I was wondering, oh God, is he actually going to, do that full on? And he did, and more so than I could ever imagined. And he was telling me, that he had to, inform neighbours beforehand that this was going to happen, just in case. And if you do hear that, and you're hearing Lara's death scream and stuff like that, you're thinking, yeah, this is not the kind of thing you can record in a domestic environment and get away with it very easily. So yeah, that I'm afraid, Tomb Raider Trailer Man did have to resort to using the screams from the games in those circumstances. I'm sure, I could, take lessons in how to scream properly without overloading my mic, but haven't got round to it yet.
I think you'd have to stand a pretty far distance from the microphone to do it.
Yeah, and have, even down to, you need a decent soundproofing in the room and acoustic dampening and stuff, because otherwise it would just sound like, hey, you were actually screaming inside a normal room. So there's an awful lot to consider with these more dramatic performances, I think, than you need to realise first.
So you mentioned your novelization of Angel of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I have had a look at that. It's really, really good. I mean, obviously, from knowing your voice and animated crafted some Tomb Raider level edited games, you've got the Lara voice. You really have. It's like really, it's that kind of that kind of tone. Do you know what I mean? And how you speak as Lara. It's very much that. So where did the idea come from to make the novelization?
Oh, blimey. I can remember in 2006, it would be, I was on Tomb Raider forums, and we would regularly have like little fanfic competitions, nothing serious, and there were no prizes or anything. It was just, a bit of fun. And I'd always been really, really intrigued by what happened to Lara after the pyramid incident, but before the start of Angel of Darkness, because of course that was never, officially explained. We kind of got some explanation in one of the novels, The Amulet of Power.
Oh yeah.
But to be honest, I never found that really fulfilling, and it was riddled with contradictions about what actually does happen in the games. So I felt very deflated and disappointed in that. And I just wanted to write my own interpretation of that. So for, spurred on by these competitions on the forums and getting good with the writing that way, I ended up writing a novella about it. It was about, it wasn't huge. It was only about 15,000 words, but I made that like a collaborative project with artists on the forum at the same time. So, they would get different chapters to illustrate and they'd come up with that. Yeah. So it became more of a community project than just the story. But when that was done, I realised I'd had so much fun being inside Lara's head that I wanted to carry on. So I tried to sort of map out the novel and figure out the story structure and the holes that had been caused in the plot because material had been cut at the last minute, and basically try to get on with that. I had a bit of a break midway through because of life circumstances. I had a major upheaval at the time, but then in 2012 I basically sat down with this half-finished novel and said, right, let's get this finished, and I did. And the rest just carried on from there. I'd done a lot of other audio production since then, both doing voiceovers for other people and doing things like podcasts. So I'm not sure what the exact inspiration was that made me go, I really want to adapt this into an audio drama. But for some reason, I decided I would. I think I may have been possessed at some point by then, because if I'd known then just how much work was involved and how long it would take, I may have had second thoughts. But it was great fun. It was absolutely brilliant fun, and I learned so much in the process about adaptation, about audio production techniques and editing. Yeah. So it was a great learning curve, as well as just being a bit of a passion project. So looking forward to more in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, I'd love to see your take on Legend as well. Actually, I think that'd be quite cool. The events after Legend. I know we saw it in Underworld, but I feel like Underworld's ending was sort of rushed.
You think so? Yeah. Sorry, I was wondering.
Just a little bit, but I know we saw the is it altar, I want to say, where she put the sword in Legend and stuff. We saw that
the dais thing.
Yeah, thank you. That towards the end, but I mean the Amanda mentioning Avalon to Lara where her mother was, and then we end up seeing the zombified mother. Mm-hmm. I just kind of thought, like, I'd like to see someone do a novelization of how events unfolded. Mm-hmm. And I quite liked the doppelganger as well in the game. Didn't so much like Lara's shadow, but I liked the appearance of the doppelganger, and then finding out that she was the one that caused the fire in Croft Manor, as you see in that little trailer, that teaser trailer that came up.
Oh, there was so much speculation on the forums in those days. When that trailer dropped, and suddenly everybody was going, "Why is Lara doing this?" And we had our, the moderators and the officials sort of going, "Are you sure that's Lara?" Wink, wink. That was definitely one of the best trailers that's ever come out of the franchise. Period. And the doppelganger was probably my favourite aspect of that whole trilogy, even though she only turns up in the very last piece. She was very cool.
Obviously, an anniversary, we got the reappearance of Bacon Lara, as fans dub it. So yeah, that's.
It was nice to see her with skin. It was nice to see a version of her that was properly finished.
I think it's from Lara's Shadow. I mean, I've watched the videos. I've not played it personally, but I like how she says, "I am you, but with flaws removed." And I'm just like, that's ominous. Like, I'd love to be a standalone game. I know we had Lara's Shadow, but I'd like an actual standalone game of how the doppelganger was created by Nat Learn, the process behind that kind of thing. So I'd very much like to see that in the future. I mean, I know we've got the 25th anniversary now, and there's a lot of surprises coming. So I'd love one of them to be a surprise as well.
Well, you just have to keep an eye out for it. So I think Legend and Anniversary and Underworld will be sort of maybe kind of August, September time.
Yeah.
That sort of period. So
Yeah,
it's going to be something to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being my guest on this Tomb Raider special today. It's been a pleasure having you.
You're very welcome, Jake. It's lovely to see you.
If you want to follow Jenni on social media, I will leave the links in the description below, as well as mine. And yeah, thank you again, Jenni. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You're welcome, Jake. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.